Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, we're kicking off Back to Sexual Confidence Month with the help of sex educator Elle Chase. We're discussing how to embrace your sexuality, your body, and your desire with the help of a little confidence. Oh, and a little Anderson. He's here too. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening. You know what I never get tired of? Talking about the magic wand. Seriously, it's like telling stories about your best friend. I actually think I have more stories about my magic wand than I do my best friend. The magic wand was part of my life long before it was part of the show. And now it's time to make it part of your life too. For more than 30 years, the magic wand has been the trusted toy that women around the world reach for first. In fact, check this. Time magazine just named the magic wand as one of the top 10 most influential gadgets of all time. We're talking next to the iPod and the calculator. Time magazine, people. If that doesn't say it all, I don't know what will. The perfectly sized original magic wand delivers amazing power and control and is incredibly simple to use. Just plug in the 6-foot cord for uninterrupted pleasure. For more information on the magic wand, visit magicwandoriginal.com today or click on the magic wand banner on my website.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. God, there's a lot in between. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the show. So this September, celebrating Back to Sexual Confidence Month, we're going to be doing lots of giveaways to help you have better sex. And it all starts with confidence. So we're going to announce it. Subscribe to our newsletter. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter yet, not really sure why, because I give good emails. But find out, because we're going to be giving you some good stuff to help you along. And you can also follow us on social media, which is Sex with Emily, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. What am I forgetting? Twitter, twice, Snapchat.
MySpace.
Instagram, MySpace, Sex with Emily. It actually was Sex with Emily.
Facebook.
Friendster. Facebook.com/Sex with Emily. All those places. So anyway, I'm here with Anderson.
Yo.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a long, long time.
It has been a long time.
Or has it?
And Elle, the wonderful Elle, is here. This is your second time on the show.
Yes.
Elle was on the show. It was called, I'll tell you what it's called.
It was called Sex with Emily.
It was called First Step to Better Sex with Lady Cheeky. So Elle, welcome back to the show. And I'm going to get into all your credentials, but feel free to jump in here before we get into this. But what I want to say is, sexual confidence is, has a lot to do with how you feel about your body. But, it's about speaking up for what you want, knowing how to ask for it when you're in the bedroom, when you're out of the bedroom. And I think we all have a little bit of insecurities. And I think it's a lot of what I think hold us back from really having the best sex that we want to have. So we're going to get into all of that today. And I was thinking about some of the insecurities I've had. God, there's so many. But most recently, I was thinking about just the things of even this comes up a lot on the show, but just telling a guy I like to use lube. Because let's assume they ever listen to the show. Or I like to use toys.
Do you have to say that, or can you just kind of toss them?
You know what? Now I'm just tossing them out. Now I'm just boop, grab it, pour it on. So people are always saying how do I use it? How do I tell my boyfriend? It's you know what? Just have it on your nightstand and just. It's just like you're putting on a condom. You whip out the lube. And I don't worry about what anyone thinks because I know that it makes sex better for me.
Well, you have an unfair advantage because you're Sex with Emily. So people are assuming that you have VATS and that you would say whatever's on your mind because you're Sex with Emily. I would assume the same thing with Elle, E-L-L-E. She would probably have the same issue or non-issue would be, because they expect that. But if you're a meek little lady or something, I think it might not feel comfortable to just blurt out,
That's true.
Hit the vulva.
Right, but it still is weird for me every single time. And my other thing is that what if they are dating me because Sex with Emily, and then I feel there's this extra, what are they expecting? But I just kind of let that go because I'm really at that stage where I'm I really don't care what people think. I mean, I hope y'all like me and do my best in the universe.
I hope you all like me. We all
I'm doing my best in the universe to be a good person, but you really just people are going to make judgments. They just are. They're not going to understand you, who you are, and you just got to really be true to yourself. Really, you just can't trip. Spend too much time in that universe worrying about what people think.
Enough with
but that's a whole
worrying.
other show. What we can say.
Drink to forget, or drink to knock that stuff out. That's what I say. Drink to
You
knock
and
those.
menace. Like that's like the top sex advice you both give is to drink
Have a
to
couple.
numb.
Let me ask you two girls here.
Alcoholics with Emily.
Girls okay, or is that pejorative?
I like women.
Women, okay. Let me ask you two women. Have you, for the man in the room here, what is like the worst, most uncomfortable, meek man that you've or situation you've run into in the bedroom where a guy just did not have that confidence that we're talking about here today?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Elle?
Oh my God. I'm going to let you go first.
Well, okay. Oh, jeez, I was trying to pass it off on you.
I know.
God, I've had so much. Well, here's the thing. I think I have it even more lately because in recent years, I think guys do get insecure being with me because they think I have all these expectations.
Yeah, and what do you women pick up on? Like, what is a tell?
I pick on, they are like, is this okay? Is this okay? Do you like this? Do you like this? How do you like this? Should I put my fingers here? I can just tell there's like a nervousness, like an energy that I don't remember that being... Like, definitely when I first started having sex, when I was 12.
You're probably so
Just
stuck
kidding.
in your
I was
own
like
head.
17.
12.
I'm kidding. I was just 17. But now I remember, like, since I've been doing the show, I know there's a certain, like, well, what do you want? Like, am I okay? Like, is this good? Like, I want even orgasm. Like, they almost become too focused on it.
Yeah.
And like, did you come yet? Did you come yet? I'm like, oh, God.
Because they're afraid you're going to talk about it on the show, probably.
And I do. I changed their names, though. It's fine. I would say, but recently, like in recent past, like not even recent, I would say something that just sticks out is that I was with a guy who I really believe hadn't in a long, if he had never had really had performance anxiety, like he really couldn't, like, because I know we ended up dating after a while, but he couldn't like get hard for
Wait
times.
a minute. You banged first, then dated?
No, it was like we had been dating for like a few weeks,
Oh, okay.
or whatever, and then we had sex,
Right.
and then he's like, I can't. I'm thinking about the sex, and I was like, it's okay. It's in your, we're gonna get through this.
Well, let's be fair to him. I've been to your place. You have posters of yourself all over your bedroom walls.
No,
It's
I
kind of
don't.
hard for him
You're lying.
not to
Does
think
not.
about
Just
you.
in the office, I have it. I'm trying to think what else insecurities.
pictures.
Why is this a really good question? What about you, Anderson? Any women? Oh, you don't talk about this stuff. Jesus.
No, I have one in particular that I remember where I was very young. I was way too young, and I met the girl that night, and she played loose, guys. Or girls, women. Sorry.
It's okay.
She played
Either one
loose.
is fine.
She played loose, and she invited me back to this room. She was like staying at a friend's house from out of time. I can't remember the situation. It was one of those situations. I remember my dad picking me up, and I was afraid that I was going to smell like sex. I was a young man, very young. I was a kid. And I remember, anyway, she played fast and loose, and she was making moves and doing things in this dark room. And I remember I was reaching down there, and then I was touching something under her pants, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a butthole, and I got really uncomfortable, and I was like, and then I freaked out, and I pulled my pants up, and I just had to get the hell out of that room because I had just touched a girl's butthole.
You
for
sure
the
it was
first
a
time.
butthole? What if you never touched a vagina?
I touched
guess
a
I feel
vagina.
different.
I
You
touched a
had.
vagina, yeah, before, but I
Did you
never
wash your
touched a
hands?
butthole. And actually, I have flashbacks to that every time every now and again when I'm petting one of my animals, which this happens. You guys have animals?
Yes. Mhm.
You're petting the animal, you're watching a
both of
movie
your
or
animals
something.
are like my
you're engrossed and you feel a butthole by mistake. You're like, oh, I just touched my dog's butthole.
Right.
And then I immediately remember that moment of my
You're
childhood.
re-traumatized.
Yes.
Often.
Yes.
God,
That's some
Anderson.
PTSD there.
It is. The
Wow.
butthole
For sure.
PTSD.
I mean,
PTSD.
I'm trying to, I've had God, insecurities. We'll get into it. There's so much to.
You've never had a guy run out of he pull up his pants and run out of the room because he just couldn't go on with you, which
No.
I did as a young man.
You know
Child.
what? If I did, I'm trying to remember that he couldn't go on. No, I don't think so. But
Okay.
I've definitely. I mean, I have to tell you, it wasn't until I started the show that I even realized that I was being really passive and just kind of waiting. I was the typical women that we hear on the show all the time. I was waiting for a guy to know. I really thought that guys should know that they were like born with the instructions to the vagina, and they knew what to do to make me feel good. And I suffered through, or I let myself sit through lay through a lot of sex that was not satisfying because I really I didn't know as much what I wanted, and I wouldn't have known how to communicate it.
Yeah.
And I just had some sex that was a lot of mediocre sex, which is another reason why I started the show, because I was like, everyone else is talking about all this amazing sex they're having. I am not. And I want to figure out, sex seems pretty freaking great. And I've had good sex. I want to have amazing sex.
I would think laying there as a lady these days is a dangerous move, too, because most of what guys do know is going to be from what they've seen on the old porn there.
Right.
And it's not going to probably be up to your standards or something you would be into if you just let them do whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it depends how
yeah.
the age, right? I mean, a lot of young kids. We actually have a good blog on our site that Jamie wrote in my office about how kids today are learning a lot about porn. I mean, learning about sex through porn. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We can move on. We can think about it.
Yeah.
You know what Charlie Glickman says about porn and sex?
What did he say?
He says learning to have sex from porn is like learning how to drive from a stunt driver.
That's true.
That's
Which
a good
I thought
one.
is a great way to put it.
Right. I mean, nothing right. No judgment on porn, but
No,
that's not the way you should
I love
technically
porn.
be learning, right? Lady Cheeky is your site.
Yes.
Which we love. Tumblr porn.
If you women think of a tell throughout the show before we're done here, that will let the guys who are listening know what not to do because it's a real tell in the bedroom.
I think my biggest advice, and this happened to me actually recently, again, go slow. Like everyone's like, whenever I'm out and about, people are like, what do you do for a living? What's your number one tip? I'm
slow
like,
sex.
go slow. Just go slow. I think a lot of guys, for them, sex is fast. When you masturbate, it's fast. Like it's getting to your orgasm is fast. It's just, or it's like you moving quick.
Mom's coming home. Yeah, you got to get it done.
Right. I mean, that comes back to that perhaps. But I think for men, they just really want to escalate. For me, that's been an issue, just saying, and being okay with saying, slow down. Like I was with a guy and he was like, fingers, right? I was like, no, you gotta don't put your fingers inside me yet. Like, don't rush. No fingers. It's dry. Don't go in there yet. I'm not even turned on. Like, you kissed me and then your fingers are in my vagina. What the hell happened in between?
Yeah.
What about my breasts? What about making out and slowing down?
Yeah,
And that happens to
Especially
me still.
With the fingers.
With the fingers, right? Have you had that when they just shove the fingers in?
Oh my God.
Where'd you guys learn that?
Well, we gotta make sure that you're open to that. That's kind of like our way of like ringing.
You're trying to open
That's a
us.
sure way to
No,
close it.
literally, like we're trying.
Ironically.
It's like ringing the doorbell. Like, is this open for business? Are we down? If you're gonna let me put my finger in there, then you might let me put my penis. You can't open with a penis.
You're right. It's like you're testing the water.
Yeah, we're
It's like
trying to
putting
figure
your
out
feet-
how far is this girl gonna let us. I don't think that happens like when you're going out for a while, but especially the first time out the gate.
First time.
You're trying to figure out what are you gonna let me put in here.
Because this is so interesting. So that's how you're tracking. You're like, is she turned on? Is she wet? But what guys can learn from this is the more time they spend, I would say, turning us on with foreplay and kissing. Like, let the kissing go on for an hour. The making out,
That
the
hurts the
foreplay.
jaw.
On the lips, dude. I'm talking about the neck, the lip, the bleed. You talk dirty into my ear for a second or just tell me I'm hot. I'm turned on. Then guess what? You put your fingers inside, it's all good to go. So spend a little more time investing in that.
So you got to announce yourself before you ring the doorbell.
Exactly. Don't just ring the doorbell yet.
It's all about arousal.
It is about arousal. I can't be literally, even if you're the sexiest person in the world. We've been together for 2 minutes and your finger, there's no way on the planet that I'm going to be turned on. I just can't even mechanically work
fingers
like that.
and then going fast with the fingers. Like, please don't. In my cunnilingus and like hand sex class, I just tell all the guys, please just don't. And it's radio, so you can't see. But basically, I'm just fingering like crazy. Like, please don't do that.
I think that's what guys do in high school. They learn that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid most guys have probably done this at one time or another, and hopefully they're not doing it
No, but
post-high
they
school.
are. I'm telling you.
You got guys
I'm
like
not dating
middle-aged
guys.
men?
I'm not picking. Yes.
Wow.
I have middle-aged men
Really?
who are in there digging for change.
Really?
As Madison, was that one of yours, digging for change? Madison always says they're in there digging for
You
change.
should put a dime in there just as a joke
Yeah,
one time.
really. I'm like, what are you doing in there? What do you do? Like, right. So that's what they're doing. And it hurts.
Hurts.
I can imagine.
Never felt good.
Well,
Never
I used to hear
felt
this.
good.
I used to hear this on Loveline a lot. Is a lot of especially younger men think of the vagina as an inside-out penis, so they're going to treat it the same way that they would want their penis treated. When you think about the penis and what's going on there, it's kind of like fast jacking. There.
Right. This is what I'm saying. Because they're like, this is how mine works. I need
Yeah.
it fast. We do not.
And it's not an inside-out.
You
Well,
don't
I'm
want to be
trying
known
This
as
is
the
actually a
cleanser.
good thing. I'm trying to think what are the other. We're not bashing on guys. We're just trying to help you because we love you. I'm trying to think of like what else. I mean, mostly it has to do with ramping up too quickly and not seeing if I'm ready and I'm on board and I'm okay with it. And then like oral sex challenges for men. There's just so many.
Well, breathing's always a tough one for the men.
What?
Being down there breathing, that's a challenge.
No.
Can be.
Maybe. It can be, I guess. I don't know. I'm
like a
just saying,
deviated
speeding
septum,
that
it's
up
real
too.
tough.
But if you go slow,
If you go slow and you
Come
pay
up for air.
attention, you like look at it and you see like the clitoris bloom.
Oh, Jesus.
Like,
I think going
It's like a
fast
flower.
is a sign of insecurity.
Right.
Yes.
And so the faster someone goes, it's like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, and there's a list, and you can tell that they're doing the alphabet on your clit, and
Right.
Really, you've read
Yeah.
that?
I've
we
read
all
it
read
and
it.
I've experienced it.
No, I
Thank
mean,
you very
you've
much.
read it like literally, like almost like reverse braille. Like you could tell the letters they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Has anyone
Do you
ever spelled
stop
out "I love you"? Because that'd be kind of romantic.
Oh.
Do you
no.
stop them and go, listen, before you get to H, we need to talk? Like, let's just put the whole kibosh on this plan.
You start singing the alphabet along with them.
have some more tips on this show. I think we could move into some sex in the news.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The ideal sex
session.
The ideal sex session only lasts 7 to 13 minutes.
Thank God.
Says research. What? I don't know what planet they're on and where they're having these 7 to 13 minutes. It's revealed that most people's ideal session lasts no longer than 13 minutes. Mm-hmm. The members include psychologists, physicians, social workers, marriage, family therapists, and nurses who've collectively seen thousands of patients over several decades. And their findings suggest lasting more than a half hour was a situation ripe for disappointment and satisfaction. I do not know what planet this survey was done on. And this is the brackets they found. Too short if sex lasts only 1 to 2 minutes. I think we can agree that. Really? Like, did it even start? Adequate, 3 to 7 minutes. Desirable, 7 to 13. And too long, 10 to 13.
What?
That's crazy.
Wait, desirable, 7 to 13. Too long, 10 to 13. There's a lot of overlap there.
I know. I don't even know.
And where does the sex begin? Is it begin with insertion, penetration,
I think
or
they're talking
kissing?
about I'm gonna for the benefit to their benefit, I'm going to say for the sake of just hoping that they're not including foreplay here, they're talking about penetration.
Once it breaks the plane and then the clock starts.
Exactly. Once he got all the change out, he's doing that. And so I just think that maybe
that's another thing the guys are doing. Maybe it's like really primitive and they're worried about teeth down there and they're making sure, because there is that fear that guys have of the teeth. It's got a word name and everything.
What? That's true that men.
Yeah, men have a fear of teeth in the vagina. They even made a movie about it. It's called Teeth.
Yes, I know of this.
Maybe they're digging
Vagina
for teeth.
dentata.
Yeah, that's right. That's the term.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're worried about.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
trying to find it out for the guys.
I mean, this seems off to you, right, Al?
It really does. I mean, I'd be interested to see who did the study, how many people were in the study, whether it was self-reported, all that kind of good stuff that you want to figure out before you start. But, were they, was it just heterosexual couples? Were they, you know what I mean? We just don't even know, which is a problem with the byline.
Research. I know, exactly. And women typically take 15 to 20 minutes to orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 20 to 40.
With penetration.
Yeah.
Harkening back to my Love Line days again here, as I want to do on this here program, I heard numerous callers call in over the years talking about how anything, and I'd hear Drew echo their sentiment, which was anything past like 15 minutes was ouch for you ladies.
No, he didn't say that. He would say that sometimes it was more like an hour or 45 minutes.
He'd say about 15 minutes.
15 minutes of foreplay?
No, 15 minutes of penetration.
Pound town.
Boom.
Oh, no. I can tell you from personal experience.
15's
more than 15 is just fine if it's done right. Absolutely.
As long as you got the lubrication going.
Yeah, or just everything going.
Everything
like if
going.
I'm turned on and you're connected and breathing together and all that good stuff. So that's how we feel about that study. I just don't even know why we're timing this. I guess I just feel like and again, case by case basis, there's some women. I met a woman yesterday. She's like, because of course I met her for 2 seconds in line at the store, and she's like, I know what you do. She goes, it's so weird. I only orgasm from my G spot internally. Jesus. My clitoris, I can't orgasm, and it just really quickly happens for me in like 3 minutes. I'm like, you're a bitch. No. But no, some women it's quicker. Some women might wonder with what?
What store?
Pizza store, actually.
What? Was she speaking loudly for people to hear around you?
No, it was a nice store. We
just want a pepperoni. We're not down for this
Dude,
sexual.
This is my life.
Yeah.
My friend had introduced us, and she's a friend of a friend, and then she goes, oh my God, I can orgasm. And so some women can quickly, and it might hurt for them after, and they might not want it, but typically, we just want some foreplay. Okay. So let's move on from this.
A lot of good information for the guys on this here program.
This is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elle Chase.
ELLE.
Thank you, Anderson. You can find our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and any other social media at Elle Chase. And Hallerman, her dog.
At the Elle Chase.
At the Elle Chase. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, well, again, it says the Elle Chase here. The Elle Chase, ELLE. And this is also all be on our website. And Hallerman, her dog, if you've been following me along on Instagram and Snapchat, you'll see that he's been a frequent visitor. And he's at Hallerman _ Cochlear.
Cochlear.
Fuck. Cochlear.
You just got to get the cock in there, don't you?
Got to get the cock in there.
And she's amazing. She's also been on the show before, like I said.
Talking about the dogs still?
No, Elle's and the dogs. Look at her face.
Yeah, he's pretty cute.
And like I said, she was on the show First Step to Better Sex with Lady Cheeky. She's a sex educator, author, speaker, and a very powerful voice in the sexual health community, not to mention a key influencer in the body acceptance movement. So we wanted to help you here with our Self-Confidence Month. And she's also known by her famous alter ego, Lady Cheeky.
Yes.
LadyCheeky.com. It's great Tumblr porn.
Is Lady Cheeky British?
No.
Lady Cheeky?
No, but she's an Anglophile.
What is that?
She likes that whole British thing, which is why she named herself Lady.
Anglophile.
Anglophile. Yeah.
And it was voted actually, yeah.
No, it means interested in things that are of British descent.
Ah, Anglophile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've never heard that before.
Interesting. We're all learning so much.
Don't act like you had heard that
I heard
before.
Anglophile.
Oh, stop it, Emily. Stop trying to. No. Had you?
I didn't know where Hanover was, but I do know.
We had a big discussion before the show started where Emily was going.
Well, I did. I was like, wait, Hanover, wait, I think it's in Berlin. Wait, Berlin's on the country. What's going on?
But Anglophile, of course. Why, of course, Anglophile. Very familiar.
I'm telling you, the brain sometimes, there's synapses that fire when they should and they shouldn't. So, okay, and Elle also, I'm being honest, Smut for Smarties. That's your companion site. Mm-hmm. And Lady Cheeky was voted back to that #1 porn site for women by Cosmo,
Huffington Post, Salon. Yeah.
So if you're a woman and you're like, I don't know, porn scares me, don't want to go to the tube sites to check out Lady Cheeky, and it's beautiful images that you curate. It's sexy.
It's arousing.
Exactly. So arousing.
All right. I feel like probably guys should go check that out.
Well, yeah. You want to know how to, there's no one digging
like
for change there.
I can tell you, as a young man, I learned most of my stuff from Sam Kinnison's stand-up. And
God, I'm so sorry.
No. He had some great advice, actually. He said to watch lesbian porn, which was great advice.
I have a story about Sam Kinnison for you later. Yeah.
Oh,
not on air.
She knows a lot of people.
Sam Kinnison. He said it's like
so much.
It's like
beyond
butterflies.
What you see.
It's like butterflies making love. La, 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 la,
yeah, exactly. Soft and slow.
That was where I got almost all my info when I was a child.
Interesting.
God, well, it was a different time then. Okay, so Elle, what inspired you to become a sex educator? Let's talk about that. Your history.
It's kind of a long story, but I'll try and make it brief. I was in a sexless marriage, and I have depression. I went through this really bad spate of depression where I wasn't leaving the house. And when I stop eating, then we know it's really bad. So a friend of mine told me to watch True Blood, the HBO vampire soap opera, gothic soap opera. And I watched it, and the lead vampire and his paramour, Suka Stackhouse, were just sort of consummating their love in one episode, and it just sort of affected me in a weird way, and I just started crying, and it hit me that I'd never experienced passion before. So I ended up leaving my husband, having an affair with a man I met on Twitter, who I got checked out by a private investigator first before I met him, because we don't want to go there.
PI just needs a Twitter handle, and then you can go from there?
Oh, I knew a lot more than that at that point. But at any rate, and so I started this Tumblr, this Lady Cheeky Tumblr, to share things I wanted to do with him and interests and all of that. And then people found it, and it became Lady Cheeky, and I kept getting questions, sex ed questions asked, and I don't know what the hell, it's like Tumblr. So I would look it up and make sure I got the right answer, and I sort of caught the bug. I really found it fascinating. I found sexual health and arousal and pleasure really interesting, and so then from there on, I went to SFISI, San Francisco Sex Information.
SFISI.
Can't say that either.
It's like Spiffy, but with an F.
SFSI, San Francisco.
And some
Sex
of the
SFISI.
So then what are some of the topics that you mainly educate about? Like the things you spoke about like big beautiful sex and stuff like that.
My thing I began with was big beautiful sex in a larger body, or sex for people who aren't confident about one part of themselves or many parts of themselves. We all have something, even the most beautiful person to you that you've seen, the Christy Brinkley's, now I'm aging myself, the Beyoncé's.
Everyone's got it. Everyone, when you hear them, they're
something
in the bathroom with them sometime, and you're like, look at my hair.
Look at my hair.
Especially the really good-looking ones, because they spent so much time curating that and making sure that it's perfect, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. The people who are, sort of classically good-looking as far as society, what society says, their parameters, often really are critical of themselves, because they have something to live up to, and they're close to it maybe, or,
Right.
So that's a big one for me. And in fact, I have a book coming out in January called Curvy Girl Sex. And
so
it
excited
shows,
for that. You're going to come back and talk about that.
Oh, thank you. Yes. It's how to have sex when you're a larger woman. And I talk about that.
Well, we're going to get into some more, but what are some of the things? Like, did you have to, because no one was like writing this instruction manual for you before, like you actually had to write the book.
I had to go and figure everything out myself. And so it's a culmination of everything I've learned. I went on a sexual journey after I left my husband with that guy from Twitter. And through having that relationship with that guy from Twitter, I learned a lot about myself and a lot about my confidence and my sexuality, and that my sexuality and my sense of my sexiness is not tethered to my body, that I am sexy regardless of my weight, regardless of my age, my abilities, regardless of whether I have chronic back pain or whatever. I am sexy no matter what. I'm just not going to be sexy to every single person I meet. And that's okay, because that's what makes the world go around.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. Not there's, someone for everybody.
Yeah.
So, right. So then what were some of the things that you went through, like to develop that? I know it's a larger question, but the main things that would be like useful for people, how you really got to embrace that. And you are, so confident now in having amazing sex and living your truth. And I think it's amazing to watch.
I think it's...
When Elle walked in here today, somebody, I don't know if it was Madison, somebody said, "Oh, you look so good." And Elle, can I say what you said?
Sure.
Well, I got fucked right. I believe it was along those lines.
Yes, I got properly fucked this week.
Properly fucked. She said it much more eloquently than
yes. Yes,
I
because
was
I'm an
in here,
Anglophile.
I was like, look at that, the Anglophiles here.
That's right. Well, I think what's also important is to let yourself know that you're not always going to feel confident. That there are times, and you want to reach for the times where you're going to feel confident and really try and make that part of who you are and what you're doing. But those times where you just can't get it up for feeling confident, those are okay.
Right.
And don't beat yourself up, because that just makes it worse. Right. Just notice it and move on and let yourself feel it, because even I get through it a lot faster now. But
that's the main thing.
Yeah, I feel horribly unconfident sometimes. But the deal is, I've done so much work that I move through it at a huge pace, at a fast pace. So it'll take 2 days instead of 2 weeks.
Right. Things don't derail you as quickly.
It doesn't derail me.
Because we don't change that much in life. Our issues are going to be our issues, but it's really how you learn to accept them and move through them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Life is interesting.
You can't just love your body because someone says you can love your body. Some of us can't. I can't. I'm not going to ever love my body.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I will accept my body, and I will be grateful for it, and I'll be grateful for how I use it and how much pleasure it gives me. And then there will be days where I'm premenstrual and I hate the world and I hate people and I don't want. Yeah, you're bad when you're premenstrual, Anderson.
Yeah. You probably.
Yeah. And you're just hating life, and you're just going to feel that way.
Right.
I mean, it's just the way it is.
For what it's worth, when I was much younger and I actually had very little fat on my body, and I worked out a lot, and I had a six-pack and all that stuff, and I had like long blonde hair that was like, anyways, I used to have pictures of me taken for money. That's a roundabout way of saying that I'm a bit of
You're a male model.
For a brief period of time, doing a lot of drugs too. And I'm sure it was coupled with the drugs and the young age, but never have I been more insecure than I was at that time of my life. I was the most insecure when I looked my best.
Yeah.
Which is, so for all of you who are not feeling like you're up to par, feel free to look at those who you deem are, and chances are they're more insecure than you are. A lot of them.
I got to say, I have never felt more confident and more beautiful and more sexy than I have right now at 230 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I was 110, 115 in high school. I didn't start getting weight till my 30s. And I hated myself like you wouldn't believe. I wouldn't date. I couldn't even speak to a man. And now I flirt with the waiter, don't I, Emily?
Yes, you do.
Where I just say, well, hello there, sir.
It's amazing. It is about, you're right. And I had so many insecurities then too. Like I remember my mom, I'd be like, Mom, I wasn't working. I don't remember what it was in college, or like I feel fat, or I feel whatever. I don't feel pretty. She's like, well, this is not the best advice. She's like, this is the best you're ever going to look, so you better be happy. She's like, you know what? This is the best you're ever going to look. I'm like, thanks, Mom. I was like 21. She was kind of right. You look back on it. No, but I feel better than I've ever felt, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is very helpful. I'm excited that you're here, Elle, because I'd love you to help me answer some emails from the listeners.
Sure.
And first, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, everyone, for supporting them. And we love you, and we'll be right back. People joke a lot about men not being able to last long in bed. You know it's a widespread issue when it becomes something society recognizes as a condition worth poking fun at. Well, for the millions of men who experience premature ejaculation, though, it is not funny. In fact, it can be a huge problem with effects that extend beyond the bedroom. This is why I love talking about Promescent, a clinically proven, FDA-compliant product that can significantly delay ejaculation. Think about what that means. If you're able to last longer, you have less anxiety about performing, you can focus on being in the moment with your partner, enjoying sex instead of stressing about it. And your partner gets a benefit of a longer, more intense experience. Okay, so what is Promescent exactly? Well, it's a topical spray that gets applied to the penis to improve a man's stamina. Unlike common delay sprays that simply make you numb, Promescent is quickly absorbed, allowing you to enjoy the sensations of sex. When used properly, it won't transfer to your partner, which is never a good thing. What other product can help you last longer, have better sex, reduce performance anxiety, and improve your relationship? None. So I strongly encourage you to learn more about Promescent. Go to my website, click on the Promescent banner, or visit promescent.com today. That's PROMESCENT.com. Okay, everyone, thank you for emailing me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. And you can also now so easily email us from the website at sexwithemily.com. You click on the Ask Emily thing banner tab, and then you just boop, send us a question right to the website. Boop. You can also leave us a voice message, voicemail at 818-ASK-SWE1 or 818-275-7931. This is all on the website, but we love hearing from you. It's fun to get voicemail messages. We can hear your voice.
Is it true you're encouraging people to call while masturbating?
No,
you're
Anderson,
not. You're not. You're
trying to derail everything that I've built.
I was just wondering if that's what I had heard things on the street.
No. I mean, you can. We'll delete it. We won't play it. Whatever gets you. Hey, listen. If you listen to my message on the voicemail message, I will delete your message. But if I can serve you, I'm just trying to change the world. I'm just trying to help people have better sex.
Got it.
Whatever works. Okay, let's get into emails, and here we go. Hey there, Miss Emily. I have so many sexual dilemmas, but I'll email about this one first. This year, I started having sex again after being in a 5-year drought. The guy I hooked up with ended up being a little smaller than expected. Don't get me wrong, I was happy to get the D after so long, but I didn't enjoy it all that much. Do you know of any positions that would make it a little more enjoyable? Also, I'm a bigger girl, so I almost feel like he was having a hard time, no pun, reaching places. I know you're a beautiful skinny gal, but it can be difficult for us big gals. So basically, what positions can I do when I'm a big girl and my man's got a small ween?
Yikes.
Thanks for your time. Love the show. I thank Menace because I found out about your podcast through him. Thanks again. Much love, Jen, age 31.
I see.
Anderson, people. I think one person heard about the show from you.
What? Fuck yourself. How about that? And I have a position for this this big lady here.
Let's just move on.
Let's move on to Elle because I know you have a book coming out.
I do.
What would you tell? So, Jen, a little bigger, and also the little smaller guy.
Yeah. There are actually a lot of great positions. And I think the one thing to sort of remember is you want to get a position that really opens up your genital region a lot. And doing that with pillows or a liberator wedge.
Wedge, what's that?
Liberator wedge is a industrial foam sort of triangle that's a long triangle that you can sort of lay down on. And it's covered. It looks like a big,
like a
long piece of cheese, but a long wedge.
A wedge of cheese.
You got them on your site?
I don't know if we have them on our site.
But you can do a Google search for, because I never heard of such a thing.
Or
sex furniture? No?
They're on my site, so you can look at it there.
Yeah,
or you can just go to
which site?
They're on.
You've got so many sites.
Yeah, I've got so many sites. Any site will take you there.
Okay,
but it's
Elle
Liberator.
Chase, and also Elle Chase.
ElleChase.com.
Okay.
Yeah, or Liberator.com. You can go to as well. So getting that or putting pillows, I suggest a Liberator because it's much firmer. And putting it right under your hips so that your butt is right at the edge of the wider part of the wedge. And put your legs back as far as you can. And then he gets on his knees right behind you and goes to town, thrusting away. Another good one is getting on your side and having him take one leg up and put it close to his neck or something. And that way he can spread the butt cheeks. He can do whatever, putting it down. Also with your legs up, crossed on the side of his head.
Yeah, that's crossed and then to the side.
Yeah,
you put your leg. That's a good one.
My favorite one is called the OM, the OHM, and that is when you are on your back and he's doing it from behind. He can spread your cheeks, whatever, and then he twists just the bottom part of your torso to one side so that the top of your back is flat on the bed and your legs are to one side. And so he is basically thrusting in between your butt cheeks, which he can also, like I said, pull apart or pull away. And this makes it a lot more of a sort of a closed canal.
Right.
Yeah, and you can also clench down on it easier with your pubococcygeal muscles. So
pubococcygeal muscles.
Pubococcygeal.
She's an Anglophile. She can talk about it.
Your pubococcygeal muscles. You know, the muscle, your pelvic floor muscles, the Kegel.
Pubococcygeal muscles.
Okay.
You have a Kegel app, don't you?
I do. Kegel camp.
Yeah.
I'm so into my Kegel. Sorry, I'm wearing a Kegel ball right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Are
wait.
you really?
Yeah. Sorry.
I love that about you.
Do you want to see it?
No, I do not want to see it. I know that she
drop ball.
What? Have you ever dropped one out?
No, I'm too neurotic for that.
They have different weights.
Yeah.
And
my God, you don't wear skirts when you're using these things, right?
By mistake, I was going to.
You wore a skirt.
I've not told anyone this because I blocked it. It happened to me.
Dish.
Yeah.
It
fell out.
Where were you?
See,
Target?
because I wish I was
Trader
at Target.
Joe's?
I wish
Where
I
were you?
wasn't at an executive meeting on a TV show.
Oh my God. You are kidding me.
You were so that lady.
Oh my God.
Of course, Sex with Emily is the
I
one.
blocked it because I didn't know what to do. I was getting coffee before the meeting. And you put these balls in. I got it. See, they fall like they but like you wear them all day. These are the Jeju ones, which I love.
Oh, I love
I've got to push
those,
them back in. Okay, but because they just like you're. Sorry, I'm wearing a skirt. So I was wearing like wide leg pants, and I got there and I wear them because I'm just lately I like doing. I have an app called Kegel Camp. It reminds you to do it twice a day if you want, which is great because it just is important. I know that whenever I've done them regularly for 3 weeks at a time, sex is better. What Anderson's making the face?
No, I'm not making the
G-spot,
face.
you're
I'm just
arranging a
listening.
story. Like my G-spot is like everything feels amazing. I was like,
She can use her
I've been
vagina to
cleaning out my
hammer
house.
nails. She actually
It's
hammers
true.
nails
And I'm
into
like,
the wall.
I practice what I preach. I'm like, time to do Kegel. So you put them in and you walk around and it basically does it for you. Like it does the exercise for you. So, and then I remember to do them, and then you do them on top of the weights. It's great. So I go to this meeting, and I get there, or the woman who's like running the executive, she's like, "Come, do you want to get coffee in the back?" They have a Keurig. We walk back there, and I'm standing there. I just got out of the car, and it just falls to the floor. Oh my God. Purple ball through my pants, and I just reached out and grabbed it, and I don't know if she's like it was just the two of us, and it fell out of my pants onto the floor.
Did it make a sound, like a loud sound?
No, because it's rubber, it's silicone.
Did it bounce back up to your hand?
I just grabbed
like
it through my purse, and I didn't know if I should say like, "Oh, funny Kegel ball." Like I don't know if she knew.
You have no idea.
No, to this
It's
day I
not
blocked
the worst
it.
place that could have happened. The worst place would have been like at the ball pit, and a ball pit like at Chuck E. Cheese or something. Oh. That would be the worst place.
But
then all the children that would go in there afterwards having no idea that
But
one
I
of the
haven't heard
balls
from him
was
since
the-
the meeting, so I wonder if no, I don't know.
You think she thought it was a diaphragm? Maybe if she did see it.
I wouldn't be wearing a diaphragm to a 10 a.m. meeting.
Your diaphragm
never
can't
know.
fall out.
Those meetings sometimes, lead
Anyway,
to
it was funny, but that happens. So yeah, I was wearing wide pants. It doesn't usually, but if you got to adjust it, but it feels good. I just wanted to share that story. And I guess if anything, I should have made it now, but I'm still going back. And you revisit things. I'm like, I could have been, oh my God, Kegel balls. We hadn't even had the meeting, and that would have been funny.
Yeah,
but I didn't.
All right.
Okay, that's my story. But my Kegel's a steal right now.
Right.
They're
You should make an internet ad where that happens. Something similar, and then you're like, oh, and then like the Kegel ball comes out, and then you say, it's my Kegel ball, and then you lead from there.
Oh my
I
God.
think Jeju needs to sponsor you and film that ad.
I love their balls. Like I just gotta say it.
Balls.
Okay.
Any message you put on that ball, people will see that message when it falls out.
What?
Like if you're in a crowded room and it falls out, they will see whatever paid sponsors on your Kegel ball, right?
Well, the ball doesn't say anything on it.
Well, it could, though. That's what I'm saying. It's like a billboard. It's like a
God.
billboard. People will notice that.
I don't know. I'm glad that maybe I don't. I keep
Like
thinking
crowded
in my
subway
head.
cars?
I keep thinking, what did she think? What would have bounced on the floor? Bounced like
Baby,
You had a Super Ball.
in my vagina.
Yeah, in your vagina.
It was weird. But I blocked it, but now you all know.
I thought something just fell out of your purse or your pocket.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm over it. Okay, let's move on to labias.
Ooh.
As if we ever got away from them. Hi, Emily. I've been listening to you for years now. I'm 25. I live in Colorado and listen on the iTunes podcast app. I've been single for 4 years and I'm interested in a couple different guys, but I have a question that makes me incredibly self-conscious to even discuss. But here goes. I have a rather large labia minora. I've been with multiple men and have never heard complaints, but honestly, I've heard my guy friends complain about other women's labia size before. They refer to it as different things like...
No.
No,
Must we?
don't say it.
No?
Okay, say it.
Well,
Is it good? Is it funny?
No, it's not good or funny. It's like an Arby's roast beef sandwich.
No, that's terrible. That's not even funny.
Good, Floppy, grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese. No. It's called a wizard sleeves or flume, or that's what people call it.
Who are you?
They're terrible. I hate it when people say that.
This is terrible when people.
I hate it when people say that, but that's what people say.
And she says, to the best of my knowledge, no one's ever said that about me. But honestly, the older I get, the more nervous I will hook up with someone who will not like how floppy my vagina is. And again, she doesn't even know, she's making this up in her head that this could even happen. Even worse, will say it to other people and not me. I've been looking into labiaplasty procedure, and I know that you say I should never have vagina shame, but frankly, I do. Is there an average labia size or a way I can get over this fear? I live in a small town where dates are hard to come by. I don't want to scare away the next guy I get. I appreciate your podcast more than I can ever describe. You give me the confidence to get out of my little shell and try to meet someone I like. Thank you, Shameful in Chicago.
That's sweet.
I know, that's so sweet.
Chicago's a big town. What's she talking about?
No, she's in Colorado.
Oh.
And it's not. We don't know where she lives. But, Shameful. I know. Here's the thing. It's true. Okay, I understand your fear. You heard guys talking about this. We all have fears around everything. Like, what are guys going to say about anything when you have sex with them? Like, in a small town, are they going to talk about me? But again, these are all stories in your head that actually have no basis in any reality. These are mostly what keeps us awake at night and gets us into depression is when we keep telling ourselves these stories that just aren't true. Labias come in all different sizes and shapes. There is no normal. There is no, way a labia is supposed to be. Some long, some short, some pink, brown, black, yellow. I don't know. All different
yellow,
colors.
Green.
What?
No, go to the doctor.
Not green. Yeah. Go, if it's green, see a healthcare provider.
Green, tell it, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, it's just a matter of just like loving your body. Like, labiaplasty is not going to make you feel better. Believe me. It's not even. No. I don't even think it's safe or healthy.
I mean, you don't know what kind of nerves are there that they're cutting away, right. And I mean, it's just kind of like, I have small hands. I have hands that don't look like my sister's hands, but yet we are from the same parents.
Right. You gotta
We're
get surgery.
all so different.
You gotta fix that.
We're all so incredibly different, and it's because women don't look at vulvas. They don't look at other people's labias. Men, they pee next to each other. They hold their penises.
What?
You hold your penises to pee.
No, I thought you meant we hold each other's penises.
No, you don't hold each other's penises.
We rarely sneak peeks. We don't see a whole lot.
Well, maybe you're in the minority then.
Right. But also porn,
but
I think they're like
too. A lot of porn out there.
And it's there are more misshapen, quote unquote, as opposed to what the perfect labia is supposed to look like. I'm doing this in air quotes. Out there than there are something that someone would call a perfect labia. And these guys that are talking about it are compensating for something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to like connect in some way. There's always going to be something to rag on a girl about.
I've seen a number of labes in my life, and never once have I talked to a friend of mine about the shape or size or length. And I have seen some long ones, and they have not been a giant issue unless they are too long that they're getting in trouble with the actual penetration. But that can be fixed with a little bit of lubrication.
I've never heard this.
Heard of this?
I have seen it, and you know what you can do is you can type in porn long labia. I bet you would see a bunch of porn because I'm sure it's a fetish.
Well, it is a fetish,
and you'll see. And if she were to just see those, she'll realize she's not.
I don't want anyone to think that they have a long labia that's going to get in in of them having sex. Because I've never heard of that.
Me neither.
And if it does happen,
have you searched that?
Then we just got to help her get over this fear. And I'm telling you, just connect with somebody. And when you're having sex with a guy, and you're in the moment, and you're present, and you're confident, and you're connected with this guy, the last thing that you'll be thinking about, and he's thinking, well, you sound like a really good person, Shameful in Colorado. That I don't think you're going to date any of these douchebags that you heard talking about this stuff. And so that's how you're going to get over it, is by being in your body, having great sex, masturbating lots, so you know what makes you feel good.
Him that, he's not even creative. I mean, those aren't even good names. Those are terrible names. And he's probably just trying to let you know that he's banging. That's probably his sly little way of letting you know. No, it was her friend.
She heard talking about, probably in high school.
A guy friend of hers was talking about it.
Guys will say they talk about stuff all the time.
They talk about stuff all the time, and it's just not.
No, and not all guys. The guy that you like, Shameful, is not going to be that guy, because I think that you're not going to pick that kind of guy that's going to do it. Anderson's never done it.
Very careful.
I would actually think that he'd be the guy that hasn't done it.
I would never ever talk. No.
And here's a good rule of thumb: when you're dating someone and you're interested and you want to have sex with them, think to yourself, which is kind of redundant. Is this someone could I actually be vulnerable enough to say, you know what? Some people have said that, longer labias are ugly, or this, or how do you feel
Before
about
or
that?
after?
Or before, the person that
give
you're
them
going
the
to want to,
green light.
the person that you're going to want to be with is going to be sensitive to that.
Yeah, and he'll be like, I love all.
Doesn't
labias.
matter to me, Same with
Gotta
being
read-
shaved and stuff,
Read guys well, though. You
Yeah.
gotta make sure. It sounds like a small town. She doesn't have a giant pool to pull from, but just be very mindful of that. And also, I know that with guys that are obsessed with their penis size, usually there's something more going on.
Exactly.
It's beyond the penis, so maybe there's something else happening here.
Yep.
I got it.
But if you have one long lab and one short lab, that's very coveted. We call that the Nemo, and guys really like that.
What are you talking
know
about?
what that
From
means.
the little Nemo, because he has one little fin,
Don't
one big
know
fin.
what
I
that
don't even
means.
know.
No.
Okay. 'Cause
I
you
think guys
aren't
are a fan of everything. Like if you bring it,
guys are
you're
just
confident.
happy to be invited to the
Yeah.
party
Oh my God, they just want in.
They do. They want in
They
so
want in.
fast.
with their fingers
So
looking
down.
for change.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Emily, I love your show. I've been listening for the last 5 months, and I love your input. I'm writing to you today because I've yet to have an orgasm. I know you have a few podcasts about achieving that, and I've had trouble doing so since I live at home and share a room with my sister. Finding time and privacy is a little difficult. But I'm thinking about getting a new vibrator. I have a Rabbit now, and I'm not sure that was the best investment for me. What do you suggest for someone who's looking to learn about her body? Really learn about it for the first time to help me achieve an orgasm. Alina, 23, Massachusetts. P.S. Additional information, I'm in a relationship and the sex feels amazing. I haven't spent a lot of time exploring my body and would really start dedicating time to do so. Alina, thank you so much for writing, and you're at the perfect time. You're just starting to have sex. You haven't had an orgasm yet. A lot of women haven't had orgasms yet. It's fine. You're not like behind the game here. So I think a rabbit might be intimidating or not the best toy to start with if you've never had one, because first time orgasms typically come from, except for the woman I met earlier at the pizza store,
Right.
The clitoris. It just does. And so I think a toy that focuses on that, using lots of lube, also is always great because it just helps arouse, even if you're already turned on, it mimics your natural lubricant, and just you know how I feel about lube, people. I don't get into it, but I think if you've used your fingers and you've spent some time, I love the touch.
Yes,
the
I
Vibe
love
touch.
the touch.
That's amazing.
It's
a perfect starter
suggestion.
toy. It is, because it's just I love the silicone on the touch. I love that has like the little. It looks like it fits in the palm of your hand.
It fits in the palm of your hand, and it also has like a little cup towards the tip that can sort of cradle your clit, and it has a little tip there that can touch your tip. There's many different ways
you can lay it
use
over your labia, and like that feels really good too, because
Yeah.
there's so many great nerve endings. I think the bigger the labia, going back to that, like the more nerve endings, like, that would feel amazing. But anyway, I just love it. That's a great one. I think I would invest in that. But go to my website. Also, I have a Shop with Emily page on my website, which is another fun thing. So you can go there and buy one of those and see what you think. But really, I think the most important thing about finding it, having that orgasm, is not giving yourself so much pressure, putting so much pressure on yourself. I would have a night at home. I would log on to Lady Cheeky, find some images there that arouse you and get you excited, or whatever it is that turns you on, and just kind of spend some time. Even if you're having sex with him, like I said, I used to believe that I did not have my first orgasm with a guy. I dated several men, slept with them, and I was like, oh, it's going to happen. And I realized, no, it's not going to happen. Took matter into my own hands, and I'm so grateful I did that, because I learned so much, and then I could bring that. So you've heard me say this before, Lena, and I think you know what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And discovering your body too, actually playing with your
nipples,
nipples,
Al.
everything. And also, there are most women, orgasm clitorally, but there are also some women that like the inside of their vagina pressed in a certain way, or their butt, or whatever. So
yeah, you never
open
know about the
yourself
butt.
up.
Little
You
butt
never
play,
know
little
about
nipples,
little butt play.
little butt play.
The sister factor too, though, guys.
Well, that's why the touch is so good.
The
'cause
touch
it's
is
super
quiet. Oh yeah, the touch is quiet.
And the
It's
crave
whisper
vesper.
quiet. The crave vesper. Yeah, that's a good one
Vesper?
too.
Or is
Yeah.
it whisper? Because whisper would be quiet.
Oh,
But it's
vesper,
whisper
a necklace.
quiet.
It's
Whisper
whisper quiet.
And then any of these guys, can she use any of these guys in the shower, or any of them waterproof?
Yeah,
'Cause that might be
I
another
think
good
they are
place.
waterproof. The
Yeah.
shower would be a good
Chances
place.
are sister's not in the shower.
Well,
when
here's the
she's in
thing.
there.
Yeah, we don't think so, but the touch you can bring into the shower.
Touch you can. I don't
For
know
sure.
about the Vesper.
Yeah, that's actually great. Thank you,
Yeah.
Anderson. Shower is where
Yeah.
a lot of people get it done.
Here to help.
Yeah. All right.
Sometimes I love it. Okay, we have time for one more email. Hey, Emily, I'm a 32-year-old female from upstate New York who listens on iPhone podcasts. I'm currently wrapping up my divorce from my husband of 10 years. Sex with my ex was very vanilla, conservative, and sparse. I consider myself a more sexual person and ended up having an affair with a longtime friend as a search for sexual satisfaction. Long story short, the relationship with the friend is continuing as my marriage ends, and I'm concerned with my sexual inexperience as I began sleeping with new people for the first time in over a decade. I've never given a blowjob as my ex refused to go down on me and in turn didn't want me to give him a blowjob. We only had sex missionary style for a decade, and any conversation attempts by me about spicing things up and trying new things were shut down, and then sex stopped for months. Wow. Any advice you can provide about tips for someone starting to re-explore their sexuality as adult? Thank you so much, Shannon. Wow, Shannon, I'm glad you got out of that one. And Elle, Jesus, sounds like your story, right?
Oh, my God, yes.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you got out of it. It's never too late. You're 32 years old. And wow, I love that you know all the things that you need to learn and not to put so much pressure on yourself. But I think that Elle can also talk about you had a very similar experience. You were a few years older.
Yeah, I was 40, and I had a very similar experience. And I had never enjoyed sex before. I didn't know what the big deal was. So what I started doing was looking at Tumblr porn. That's how I started Lady Cheeky. And through that, I started to understand what turned me on, what kinks I wasn't so interested in, which I wanted to try. And when I started dating, I would look for, sort of clues in the dating profiles, or I would sort of ask, because right when I got out of my marriage, I was just, overcorrecting big time. I was sleeping with anything that walked. So I could explore different things. But there's also great things to look at out there. Like there's some great tapes and books by tapes. My God, I am so old.
Christy Brinkley's got a good tape out right now.
I believe
it's an exercise tape.
Yeah, boy, who's the president? Is it Roosevelt the president?
Right.
Tristan Taormino has some wonderful DVDs on how to have interesting different kinds of sex, and there's also, she has books as well. There's also Women's Anatomy of Arousal by Sherry Winston, who's also very good. And yes, Emily's book. Hot Sex.
Get on my website. Yeah, I had Hot Sex, over 200 things you can try tonight. It's a great book.
Flip to a random page.
Yeah, Anderson does it all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
You just flip to it. Yeah, you really just flip to a random page, and you're like, let's try this. Let's try that. Let's try that. So that's a good one. And there are some great books out there, but also don't be too hard on yourself. I think because you're with a long-term friend, he knows you. Sounds like they're still together, and the more that all your sexual experiences, worries are going to judge you. This guy wants to be with you. You guys can learn some stuff together. You know, she's never given a blowjob. That's fine. You're going to learn.
Yeah, you'll learn. Oh, there's a great book out there that I used when I was a teenager. It was something like the Gay Guy's Guide to Blowjobs for Straight Women or something like that.
I remember that book. Yeah,
it was great.
We do a lot of shows. Also, we have a lot of great shows we've done lately on blowjob tips, like breaking it down. So there's a lot on our website about that as well. Yeah. So, but Shannon, you're good, and I'm proud of you for getting out of this relationship that was not fulfilling you. Because I know it's not easy, but I trust me, you're doing the right thing. None of that sounds fun.
No.
Okay, Shannon. Thank you for listening, and thank you both of you for being here.
Thank you,
thanks,
Anderson. Elle, where so we can find you at the Elle Chase everywhere.
Yes.
What else?
ElleChase.com, LadyCheeky.com, SmutForSmarties.com. That's pretty much you get everywhere you need to go.
Got it.
Quick question for you. You're a sex educator. Has a school ever contacted you, maybe an elementary school or a high school, thinking that you were a sex educator that should come to the school? And then, has that ever happened?
Oh yeah, and I have gone to I've gone to colleges. I speak at colleges.
Never high school, because I could see it being a problem in the public school system where they're like, nah, this is too
I don't
advanced.
teach children.
Okay,
I don't teach children.
Well, I guess they are kids.
I refer
if they're in
out.
high school, huh? Yeah,
I refer out.
Yeah, okay.
But I
do have done colleges.
I have done colleges. I have the Los Angeles Academy for Sex Education, and we do bachelorette parties and private stuff.
God, they need that. That's good. Yeah, doing the good work. Okay, Anderson, what's going on with you? Your podcast?
Cinematics is my movie podcast, and I'm still trying to get off the ground. I got the Film Vault and After Disaster, which are doing fine. But Cinematics, we will see 2 movies that are coming out that Friday every week, as well as a streaming pick. So it's a service to film lovers.
It is. I love it when you never know what movie to see that weekend.
We sort
Anderson
through them all. We
see
see them all, and we let you know it's worth your time. And also my feature film, which I'm working towards funding. If you'd like to be in the know, give me an email over at groupersthemovie.com. themovie.com. It's all about homophobia and bullying and all that. And that's a movie I hope to direct and produce early next year.
And you will.
Yes.
I'm proud of you. Okay, one more thing. Thank you, Anderson. One more thing I forgot to mention. I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but I'm going to be in New York, you guys, in just like 2 weeks. I'm going to be there, or 3 weeks. I'll be there at September 24th and 25th in Brooklyn. It is the Sexual Health Expo New York. You can just click on the banner on our website, and it's amazing. There's top sex educators speaking there about everything you want to know about
like
sex,
Comic-Con
relationships.
for sex.
It kind of is like Comic-Con for sex. All the sensual products, and I'm going to be doing a live podcast on Saturday, September 24th at 1 p.m. So come see me, come say hi. I can't wait. And thank you both. Okay, thanks everyone for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. I don't know if you know this, but the Sexual Health Expo is right around the corner. And this time, it's taking place in one of my favorite spots on earth, New York. I'm so honored to once again be hosting this one-of-a-kind event. Like, seriously, what other event brings today's top sex educators and the hottest pleasure products together under one roof? Exactly. It's the only one. The Expo will be taking over Brooklyn September 24th and 25th. And for the first time ever, you can attend for free. Thanks to our good friends at WeVibe, the first 2,000 people to register will be given free admission to the 2-day event. Sexual Ed sponsor The Pleasure Chest has planned out a weekend's worth of seminars on today's most relevant wellness topics, all delivered by an array of sex experts I know and admire. Not only will you be expanding your sexual horizons, you'll also be able to see brand new products from Jimmy Jane, Doc Johnson, Joe Lubricants, Lifestyles and Skin Condoms, The Rabbit Company, Ovo Lifestyle Toys, Bocce Lingerie, The Body Wand, and Narrows, B-Vibe, See You in Bed, Hot Flowers USA, I Am Toy, Kama Sutra, Babeland, Pure, High Pleasures, Sibian, Sir Richard's Condoms, Tenga, Unbound Box, UV. Oh, and they just added even more sponsors. Blue Dreams, Bedroom Candy Boutique, Sola, Chalk Rub, Cineking, Core, Cautionware, Dame Products, Enlightened, Extend Fertility, Getting in the Mood, G-Spot Zone, Indulgence Boutique, I Know My Status, Joybox, Nast Toys, Notorious Pink, Next Gen Health Solutions, Pure Romance, Satisfier, Sexpertise, Subsensuals, the Center for Sexual Pleasures, Shamanism Psychotherapy, and Vibrators.com. You can learn more about the sponsors on my website. Just click on the She banner for all kinds of information. To reserve your free tickets, visit sexualhealthexpo.com today. See you there.